Hi guys.
Hi,
Hey,
good to see you. How are you
Good
doing?
to see you. I'm fine. How are you?
We are fine. We are missing the orchestra, of course, and we're happy there is a live stream to get the feeling of, well, an orchestra playing. It's a surrogate, of course.
Yes, I'm missing the orchestra a lot myself. As you know, we were about to have a big tour in America, which had to be stopped before it even began. We were already rehearsing, but the same time, I also extended my contract with the orchestra, so I'm still very happy that we have a lot of opportunities in the future.
mm.
How do
So
you
how
feel?
are you doing? You're in Berlin now. How do you spend your days when you cannot conduct, right? It's what to do.
I'm home in Berlin. I'm playing a little bit the piano. I'm writing some things, some arrangements for some pieces to play chamber music, for example, with my fiance who is playing bass clarinet, so we can play a few things together. Um, I'm cooking quite a lot. I'm learning some new things to cook. Playing some new games on the phone, watching TV, and I think as everybody else, trying to find things to do, not to get too rotten and not doing anything, and at the same time trying to also enjoy the free time as much as possible.
Are you also preparing the third piano concerto of Prokofiev for next season? Because it will return with you as pianist and conductor.
Yes, you're right. I should probably start practicing soon. I read in Prokofiev's diary, which I have right here, that 3 weeks before his premiere, he's struggling and he's saying, I'm really afraid because I'm still not prepared and the concert is in 3 weeks. So I still have a few months ahead. I think it's okay.
Can you take us to the work and introduce a bit what we are about to hear?
Yes, well, I think it is still considered one of the most popular piano concerti of the 20th century, and rightfully so. It's brilliant and full of character, very colorful, very virtuosic, quick. But I really one of my favorite qualities about Prokofiev is his lyricism, actually. And the piece starts with this very lyrical moment with just one clarinet playing without any accompaniment. One more clarinet joins in. And the whole orchestra comes in very quietly at the beginning. And it's been maybe, 20 seconds. Prokofiev cannot handle it anymore. It becomes very energetic at once, and everybody starts playing very quickly. And the piano just comes in immediately with a lot of energy and takes on from there. And this already shows you the incredible contrasts you have in this music, in all the movements, but especially the contrast between the lyrical element and the energetic and full of vitality. This is really something that you can find in the whole concerto.
I remember that moment sitting in the audience when the pianist comes in and Martha Argerich starts playing, and then it's with such an attack and such an energy. It's like you're on a horse on the beach or something like that. But so much um, love of the piece, love of life. It was really a privilege to witness that moment when she enters and then just takes it away.
Yes, she's using the opportunity to go full power, and uh, she's playing in a tempo that you would think she's 20, 30 years old, really full of hormones and ready to conquer the world. And one also forgets not just the age, okay, but also the experience. As I said, the fact that you repeat the piece so many times, that you play it with so many orchestras and record it many times, it's easy if you're not a really, really great artist. It's easy to just fall into a routine and think, well, what is there in this music anymore for me? I think I heard it in every possible way. But no, it still feels like she wants to ride that wave. You know, it's like a first experience, and it's very, very energetic to be on stage with her and doing it together. And I'm sure it gets across to the public the same way.
Already when she entered the hall, when we had a full audience, and then she came on stage already, that was quite a moment, no?
Yeah, it was like I don't know, Beyonce or any rock star, you know, would come on stage. The public went crazy completely. I've never seen something like that in Rotterdam or in any other place. It was really phenomenal moment.
And also the ovation at the end was endless, and the audience kept on begging for more, and they got it because two of you played some Ma Mère Loi from Ravel, first just one piece and then another. It was like you didn't want to part either.
Well, yes, sure. First of all, I didn't want to stop playing with her, so yeah, there was this element as well. But of course, the public just asked for more, and Marta likes to play with other people much more than she likes to play alone, solo on stage. So we prepared basically whole Ma Mère Loi, and I think we even played almost the whole piece at the end. It's not a very long piece, but when you play the only different parts as encores, of course, it becomes quite long. But at the same time, it was a very short concert, we shouldn't forget, because as you mentioned, it was part of sort of a festival. We had a completely different program at the same time with just Bach's music. And this was just Prokofiev music, the whole concert, with the first symphony, the classical symphony, and the third piano concerto, and that's it, no second part. So these encores were basically the encores of the entire concerts. So I think it really made sense.
You said that the program started with Prokofiev's classical symphony. It's roughly from the same time as the piano concerto. The opus numbers are consecutive. The symphony is opus 25, the concerto 26. Still, they inhabit really different sound worlds. Can you explain how they relate to each other and how they are different?
They are related to each other, I think, harmonically, in a way that you can find in all Prokofiev's music. Because Prokofiev's music is always based on tonality, 100%. It's not, and one should remember that we're talking about the times post Rite of Spring and Bartók and Schoenberg and so on. This was all in the air already. We're talking about already the 20s, the 1920s. And Prokofiev is completely based on tonality, as I said. So even the beginning of the concerto, as we heard before, it's a completely tonal melody. For example, when he's harmonizing the theme later, it becomes beautiful, maybe a little bit French style of harmony. But he's not just using it in the traditional way that you could find in Haydn, Mozart, and so on. Because, for example, if you take the first three notes, this becomes sort of a cell that he would then later develop. So he's not just sitting on the triads of the normal chords, but this becomes a new idiom. And then, and so on. And when the piano starts, the first thing that the piano says, the first statement is, it's always the same first three notes, like the clarinet. I'm sure you can hear the similarities, exactly the same thing. And of course, it sounds like this wonderful improvisation of the piano because it's very quick and doesn't stop. But it's all based on this idiom. So you can say that it is, although based on tonality, it has this very special sound. There's nothing pure about it, even though it's very clear what are the relations. But in the classical symphony, it's a little bit different, because the chords themselves are very traditional. the symphony starts with a very, very clear D major. There's no ambiguity about it. It's D major, and so on. So you would think, okay, well, that's purely classical. Also, the orchestration is purely classical. It's just a couple of winds and two trumpets, just a timpani without percussion, etc., etc. So it's a Haydn orchestra, basically. It's even a smaller orchestra. But the relationship between the chords makes the harmony very special and completely 20th century. Because after this D major comes this chord and just repeats. So this relationship between the D major at the beginning and C major is completely unrelated. And this makes a very special language. This is very new. Based on the much older music, but it's completely new. And in the third movement, it becomes even more obvious because it starts also with D major, but very quickly shifts into a completely foreign land. There are basically no relations between any of the chords you've just heard. If we hear them separately, this is fine, but then the whole thing is really, I would say, very intuitive in a way. The relationships are intuitive, and this is also the way one should perceive this music, in a completely intuitive way, and just let it sink in and maybe not analyze it too much as I just did.
And I mean, it sounds very natural at the same time, even though there are a lot of surprises. But in fact, it's very tricky to play, especially I think for strings, woodwinds. It's a very tricky piece, this classical symphony. It's not something you just play without practicing, let's say.
No, you're absolutely right. Even though it's a very short piece, well, in terms of classical pieces, maybe not that short. It could have been a Haydn symphony also in its length. It's just about 15 minutes or so, with 4 movements. But very, very difficult, especially the last movement. Very tricky, very quick passages for the violins, for the flutes. Everybody are suffering and enjoying at the same time.
And how is that for you as a conductor?
Sorry?
How is that for you as a conductor?
It's a lot of fun. It's just a lot of fun. Because I don't have to play all these tricky things. I just get to listen to it.
Well, that will be a challenge for April next year. So nothing to worry about right now. We will enjoy very much this stream of you and the Rotterdam Philharmonic and Martha Argerich. And I'm very happy that we can enjoy this kind of registrations while we just wait to welcome you back in Rotterdam and make live music once again.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. I think we're lucky also. I'm very thankful to Medici for having this concert on their archive and letting us using it and stream it right now. I think it's for me it's a wonderful memory. It's, as I said, it's the first time I played with Martha Argerich, and it was really a unique moment. I think we all felt it on the stage and in the public, and I'm happy to be able to watch it again.
Yes, let's really live that magic concert. Lahav, thank you for joining us, and let's meet again because there is more in the archives that we will unearth.
With pleasure. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, stay safe.
Bye-bye.